may seem tangential to my usual routine, but that's right, Toasty Domain is on the road, and I'm headed somewhere to escape this dreadful cold weather. I'm Havana bound. Well, almost. But there's nothing that warms me up like a good cigar from one of the best shops in which I've ever set foot. We're here at Almost Havana in Hurricane, West Virginia today, and one thing that grabs your attention right off the bat is this beautiful humidor that they have as soon as you walk in the door. With a cigar collection like this, it's no wonder why this place is so popular amongst locals as well as people from all over the country. Variety is key. Just ask owner Tanner James.
When we started this, we traveled around to cigar lounges and stores all over the East Coast. And that's where, particularly the Florida area, Virginia, North Carolina, even Ohio, have some of the best cigar lounges in the country. And the thing that seems to tie them all together is a wide range of cigars. And we like to offer things that are your more traditional brands, your Romeo and Julietas, your Punches, your Padrones, Perdomos. But we also wanted to bring in what we call boutique cigars that a lot of guys were having to resort to online purchases to get a hold of. So we brought them into the local area. That's how you see so much diversity here. You got your traditional and you have your more boutique things, small batch selection, things like that. I think that appeals to a lot of people. It certainly appealed to me as a cigar smoker, being able to get a hold of things that I couldn't get a hold of easily elsewhere.
But that's not all this shop has to offer. Almost Havana has a spectacular cigar lounge with plenty of accommodations.
I think it's the big draw for somebody that's been in cigars for a long time, or even a guy that's new to it, because it's something that's sort of a throwback to an older era where guys can just get together, guys and girls for that matter, come in, relax, not worry about what's going on out in the real world for a few hours of their day. We don't put clocks in there, just like Vegas. We don't want people to worry about what time it is. Come in there and let a few hours melt away with a cigar. It's very relaxing. I think that's key to this business.
If you're new to cigars, don't worry. The Almost Havana staff is willing to go the extra mile to help.
They do seem intimidated. They don't want to ask stupid questions. I always say, number one, it's the cliche, but there are no stupid questions when it comes to this hobby. You're not going to know the basics, let alone some of the more intricate things about cigars. So I like to just start the conversation off myself. I'll say, well, what do you smoke historically? Do you have any preference at all? If they say I've only smoked a Swisher Sweet, I say that's a great starting point. You like something a little flavored. So I'll direct them to the flavored cigars. You got things that are good old hand-rolled long filler tobacco, just like the rest of the stuff in here, but they have a little flavor added. So it's a nice transition from Swishers to something with a little more meat behind it. Once they've had those, then I'll work them into something kind of mild, like this with a very light shade of wrapper on it. I'll bring one of those in, let them try something because it's milder, it's smoother, lets them smoke without getting sick, things like that. And then as we go along, we work them up until they're smoking something dark. Maduro is what they call it, Spanish for matured. Real long aged tobacco, been sitting in the sun a lot longer than these light shaded tobaccos, a lot stronger, a lot more nicotine, a lot hardier, but not good for a beginner. So I like to walk beginners through it kind of step by step. That way they have a good, pleasant experience. They don't get their first cigar that makes them sick and they have to leave. They don't want to come back anymore. I walk them through it in stages.
Just keep in mind that you don't have to be an elite member of society to enjoy a cigar, especially at Almost Havana.
We have a huge range of diversity among our patrons. We'll have guys that come in that work at Taco Bell just fresh out of high school, all the way up to retirees that have been smoking all their life. We have guys that are multi-million-dollar investors down to the guy that cleans cars on the weekends. I mean, there's a huge range, and the beauty of the cigar lounge is that when guys go in there and they sit down with their cigars, they can talk about anything. The divisions of class and everything else disappear. Nobody cares about that. That's not a question that comes up. They just talk about whatever they're thinking about. Maybe it's their cigar, maybe it's what football game's on. All the class issue just disappears when you're back in the cigar lounge. There's no wrong questions here. We don't make fun of people who don't know what they're doing. We all started somewhere. We'll walk you through it. If it's somebody that's been smoking for a long time, come down and try this out. You may not have experienced a cigar lounge, and if you have, I would put ours up against most of them in the United States.
Journalism and cigars often go hand in hand, but for right now, it's 5 o'clock.